Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these rare Kennedy half-dollar coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Number 1. Today's journey takes us deep into the world of American numismatics, where we'll uncover the mystery, history, and hidden fortune behind one particular coin, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar. It's a coin that millions of Americans have held in their hands, passed through pockets, vending machines, and drawers, yet few realize the true potential value it could carry. Now, before you rush off to check your change jars, make sure you stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll find out how one specific version of this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Yes, you heard that right. Let's begin where the story of this coin really takes shape, in the early 1970s, a time of transformation in American coinage and politics. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was created not just as currency, but as a national tribute to one of America's most beloved leaders. That emotional connection made the coin instantly popular, and millions of people began hoarding the new half-dollars as keepsakes. By 1971, something major had changed. For the first time, the half-dollar was struck without any silver at all. Up to 1970, the coin contained 40% silver, but starting in 71, the U.S. Mint shifted to a copper-nickel composition, similar to what we see in today's quarters and dimes. This marked a significant moment in coinage history and makes the 1971 half-dollars, especially the ones minted in Denver, which are marked with a small d, especially interesting to collectors. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, so you might wonder, what's the big deal? Why would a coin that was mass-produced be so special? Well, as any coin expert will tell you, rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about how many survive in exceptional condition or with unusual characteristics. Let's talk about that. Most 1971 Kennedy half-dollars were used in daily commerce. They have scratches, dings, discoloration, and wear, and those are worth little more than face value. But the game changes entirely when a coin is preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. Even more dramatic? When the coin displays a minting error, something unexpected, something that slipped through quality control at the mint. These errors can include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet issues such as using the wrong metal. Believe it or not, there have been confirmed reports of 1971 Kennedy half-dollars accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planchets that weren't supposed to be used anymore. These are the unicorns of the numismatic world, incredibly rare and unbelievably valuable. Now imagine this. You find a 1971 Kennedy half-dollar in your possession. It looks slightly different. Maybe the metal has a strange tone, maybe it weighs a bit more than expected, or maybe it appears flawless under a magnifying glass. That could be the sign you found one of these incredible rarities. Collectors and professional graders pay close attention to these small differences. Coins that are authenticated by trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC can soar in value if they possess unique traits or are preserved in top-grade condition. And here's the thing, these rare varieties don't always look spectacular at first glance. You have to know what you're looking for, or better yet, get a professional opinion. Because sometimes, what looks like a regular pocket coin could be a numismatic miracle. And now, for the moment that might just blow your mind, if you happen to come across a 1971 Kennedy half-dollar with a rare minting error, specifically one struck on a leftover silver planchet, and it's been graded in top condition by experts, it could fetch as much as $85,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $85,000 for a single coin that many people wouldn't give a second glance. So before you toss aside that old half-dollar you found in the attic, or dismiss the coin that's been sitting in your drawer for years, take another look. You could be holding a small fortune without even knowing it. If you enjoyed diving into this incredible story of history, mystery, and value, don't forget to subscribe, tap the like button, and ring the bell for more coin adventures coming your way. Until next time, keep collecting, keep hunting, and who knows, maybe the next rare coin treasure is already in your hands. Number 2. We're diving into a coin that's as American as apple pie, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. This isn't just a chunk of metal with a face on it, it's a piece of American history, a collector's curiosity, and in some very rare cases, a ticket to a massive payday. So make sure you watch until the end, because we're going to reveal how one particular version of this coin could change your life in the most unexpected way. Let's rewind the clock for a second and talk about the context. The year is 1972. America is in the thick of the Vietnam War, gas is cheap but rising, and the Watergate scandal is quietly brewing in the background. Amidst all of this, everyday Americans are still using coins in vending machines, payphones, and laundromats. The half-dollar, once a major player in daily transactions, was slowly starting to disappear from circulation. That brings us to the Kennedy half-dollar, a coin born from tragedy but embraced with pride. After President John F. Kennedy's assassination in 1963, the U.S. Mint rushed to create a coin in his honor. By 1972, it had become a familiar sight. But what makes the Denver-minted 1972 Kennedy half-dollar stand out? At first glance, this coin might seem ordinary. It has Kennedy's strong, stoic profile on the front, designed by Gilroy Roberts, and the iconic presidential seal on the back, featuring the bald eagle grasping arrows and an olive branch. But here's where the story gets interesting. While millions were produced, only a tiny number hold any serious collector value today. So what separates the common coins from the rare treasures? It all comes down to condition, precision, and anomalies. First, let's talk about condition. Coins that have never been circulated, those that came straight from the mint and have been perfectly preserved, are referred to as mint state. These are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely flawless. The vast majority of Kennedy half-dollars you'll come across are worn, scratched, or even discolored. But finding a 1972 D in mint condition? That's already rare. Now add the second ingredient: error variations. Errors can happen at any stage of production: a misaligned die, a double strike, or even the use of the wrong metal. And guess what? There are whispers in the numismatic community about certain 1972 D Kennedy half-dollars being struck on leftover silver planchets, metal blanks that were supposed to be long gone after 1970. Some of these error coins went unnoticed by quality control and ended up in circulation. And here's something most people don't know: the D mint mark, for Denver, often flies under the radar. Many collectors chase the Philadelphia or San Francisco coins, not realizing that some of the most valuable errors and rarities have quietly come from Denver over the years. So while the 1972 D might not seem flashy, it's hiding secrets in plain sight. To identify a potential jackpot, there are a few things to look for. Does the coin weigh more than the standard copper nickel-clad coin? Does it have a bright, silver-like shine? Are there any visible doubling effects on the date or lettering? Does it appear to be perfectly struck, or is something slightly off? If you've got a 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar and you're noticing anything out of the ordinary, it's time to get serious. Have it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate its metal composition, inspect it for mint errors, and assign a grade that determines its potential market value. Sometimes, what you think is just a curiosity turns out to be a once-in-a-lifetime find. And now comes the moment you've been waiting for: the question of value. How much could one of these rare 1972 D Kennedy half-dollars be worth? Are you ready for this? If you've got a coin that has a confirmed minting error, possibly struck on a silver planchet, and it's graded in exceptional mint condition, you could be looking at a value of up to $80,000. Yes, that's right, $80,000 for a half-dollar. Most people would barely look at. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's part history lesson, part treasure hunt. Every coin in your collection, in your pocket, or even in that forgotten coffee can could have a hidden story and, possibly, a small fortune attached to it. So if you've got any Kennedy half-dollars lying around, especially from 1972 with that little D mint mark, now's the time to give them a closer look. You never know what you might find out. If you enjoyed today's deep dive, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and drop a comment if you've ever come across a strange or interesting coin in your change. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and keep believing that sometimes, big things come in small, silver-colored packages. Number 3. We're about to uncover the mystery behind one of America's most iconic yet often overlooked coins, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin has been passed from hand to hand for decades, used for everything from parking meters to poker games. But did you know that one version of it could be hiding an incredible secret? A secret so rare, so valuable, that it could be worth a small fortune. So grab your coin jar, pull up a chair, and stay with me until the end, because you won't believe what this ordinary-looking coin could actually be worth. Let's rewind to the early 1970s, a time of change in the United States. Nixon was in the White House, the Vietnam War was winding down, and the space race was still burning hot. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins that reflected the pride, resilience, and heritage of the nation. Among them was the Kennedy half-dollar, a tribute to a beloved president, struck in metal and circulated to the millions. By 1973, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a symbol not just of President John F. Kennedy's legacy, but of the hopes and ideals that shaped an era. The 1973 edition, however, had a unique twist in its story. Unlike previous years, number 1973 Kennedy half-dollars were released for general circulation. That's right, unless you got them directly from a mint set or proof set, you wouldn't find one in your change. They were minted specifically for collectors, which automatically makes them rarer than most other years. Now here's where it gets really interesting. While millions were produced for collector sets, very few have survived in perfect condition. Over time, coins get damaged, handled, exposed to moisture and air, or simply lost. And when it comes to collectors, condition is everything. A coin in mint state, we're talking no scratches, no discoloration, and a flawless surface, is already valuable. But what if there's more? Every now and then, a coin slips through the cracks of quality control at the mint. These are known as mint errors, and they're the holy grail for collectors. Think misaligned dies, off-center strikes, double impressions, or, in extremely rare cases, a coin struck on the wrong metal blank, called a planchet error. And now imagine this: a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar struck not on the usual copper nickel clad, but on a leftover silver planchet or even a foreign blank. These are not rumors. They are documented rarities, and they are extremely scarce. A few have surfaced over the decades, sending shockwaves through the numismatic world, but it's not just about the errors. Even regular 1973 Kennedy half-dollars that have been graded at the highest possible levels, we're talking MS-67 and above, are incredibly hard to find. Because these coins were never meant for mass circulation, most people didn't think twice about keeping them in perfect condition. Add to that the fact that the 1973 coin is a key part of collector sets, meaning the demand is already high and you've got the perfect storm for a serious price tag. Let's also not forget about the design. On the front, the strong and dignified profile of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's striking presidential seal, a bald eagle with wings outstretched, a symbol of power, peace, and pride. It's more than just a coin. It's American history in the palm of your hand. So, the big question: what should you look for? Check for a flawless surfaces with sharp details, any signs of doubling or unusual textures, a higher than normal weight, suggesting a different metal, a strange coloration or unusual luster, and most importantly, whether it's been graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC. Now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. What if you happen to own one of these rare 1973 Kennedy half-dollars? Not just any version, but one struck with a rare mint error or preserved in the highest mint state condition possible. If you do, then that small, round, unassuming piece of metal could be worth as much as $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000, all from a coin most people never give a second thought. So the next time you're flipping through a coin collection, sorting through a box of old change, or browsing a garage sale, take a second look at that 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. You just might be holding on to something truly priceless. If you love this story and want more rare coin mysteries, hidden values, and the incredible history behind American currency, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. You never know, the next big treasure might just be a coin away. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep your eyes on the coins.